Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Stephen Keller. I will be the hearing officer from Public Works today. I believe your clerk will be Nathan Rodas or Clinton Otwell. Today we will be going over 3 notices of violation issued by the Bureau of Street Use and Mapping. My job as the hearing officer is to gather the facts for the hearing items, listen to your testimonies, and help our Director of Public Works make determinations. I will not be making any decisions today. Instead, I will forward the findings from this hearing and make my recommendations to the Director. The Director will make the final determinations. Once the Director's determinations are made, the department will notify you of them and from your provided contact information. The hearing will flow as the following. I will ask Public Works staff to present the case. Then I will follow with the property owner or the appellant or applicant to speak. After that, any members of the public will be allowed to speak. And then afterwards, I can address comments to the department and ask questions. Each speaker will have up to 3 minutes to speak. The clerk will monitor the time for all speakers and tell you when you have 30 seconds left. If you are a party to this proceeding, I will call on you to speak. If you would like to use visual materials in your presentation, let me know before you speak, and then you will be given the 3 minutes after your documents are available. If you are a member of the public or witness who wants to speak, wait for me to call for public comments, then use Zoom's raise your hand feature if you're on a computer. If you are dialing on from a phone, dial *9 to indicate that you are raising your hand and would like to speak. When it is your turn to speak, I will recognize you. If you're on your phone and your phone is muted, you would need to press *6 to unmute your phone. Again, comments and questions should be addressed to me and not to the department or the applicant. If you cannot finish your comments within the allotted time, you may submit written testimony by the end of the hearing. If I feel a question is warranted, I'll ask questions. After all comments are completed, I will close the item. That is it for the beginning. And I believe the first order is just general public comment that is not have to do with any of the cases on the docket today. So is there any general public comment?
No.
Okay, seeing none, I will move on. Jessica, is the first case, well, why don't you start with the first case and whoever is attending?
Can we go ahead and allow Stephen Brown into it? We're just gonna do his since he's here.
Sure.
I don't know which case he's here for.
No problem.
Hi, Stephen.
Yes,
Hi, which case are you here for?
500 Filmore Street.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
Will the department please go ahead with their presentation for 500 Filmore?
Yes. Lucy, can you go to the next slide, please?
Excuse me?
Good morning. My name is Jessica Salome. I am presenting on behalf of the department. On Tuesday, July 27th, around 12 p.m., an inspector responded to a complaint regarding the scaffolding company occupying the sidewalk at 500 Filmore Street. Upon arrival, the inspector found scaffolding in the public right-of-way without a permit. The inspector then issued a correction notice number 14821 to obtain a street space permit or remove the scaffolding within 72 hours of correction notice issuance. A follow-up inspection was conducted on Friday, July 30th, 2021, around 1 p.m. As no street space permit was obtained, nor the scaffolding was removed, the inspector issued a notice of violation number 14821 for no street space permit for $1,000 daily. The violation was closed out on Tuesday, August 10th, with a total penalty of $11,000 as the scaffolding was removed. The next slide, we have the appeal letter from James Towen. I believe he is the property owner. In the next slide, we have the copy of the correction notice and notice of violation. And in the next slide, we have photos for the issue at hand. The scaffolding placed on the sidewalk without a permit. These are photos from July 27th. The next slide, we have photos from July 30th when the violation was issued. And on the next slide, we have here from August 10th, where the scaffolding was being removed. The next slide, we have a copy of the invoice showing that the violation was for no street space permit for 11 days, totaling out $1,000 per day for $11,000.
I guess, yeah, thank you. I guess we'll hear from Mr. Brown now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Yes.
can.
Okay, so to begin with, we had a contractor who was working on the building who originally took out the street permit. The contractor disappeared, and he owed the scaffolding people money. And I didn't know that we needed a new street permit, but I called the scaffolding people right away as soon as the inspector gave us, let us know we had to remove the scaffolding. And the scaffolding people said, hey, we're not going to remove it until we're paid for the scaffolding, which I didn't know they were not paid. I had already paid the construction company to have the scaffolding put up and removed. So anyway, the scaffolding company did not come out. I then personally went there with my own people and removed the scaffolding as fast as we could. This was at a time when people were not working, people were sick, COVID was running rampant, and there's no doubt that the scaffolding was up. I'm not denying that. But we acted as quickly as we could. And I think that $1,000 a day is a ridiculous fine for having no street permit. I mean, it's just outrageous. And we can't even afford that $11,000 fine. It's a crazy fine. I mean, $500, whatever, $1,000. It's just I think it's just a money grab. But so that's the story. We couldn't. There's more to the story because we only left the scaffolding up because we had to complete some repairs from a fire. PG&E for 2 years has had to move their line and has not done it. We've paid them engineering. We have paid them for engineering permits, and still PG&E hasn't done their work. And so it's been a nightmare. This fire that erected the scaffolding originally started in 2018, September of 2018, and PG&E still hasn't done their work. Anyway, that's the story. But I mean, I think it's outrageous. We got the notice. We reacted immediately. We did everything we could as quickly as we could, and we removed the scaffolding. I think the scaffolding was removed. I might have even called the inspector before that photo on the 10th. But anyway, that's it.
All right. Thank you. And Mr. Brown, what is your relation to the property?
I'm the property manager.
Property manager. Okay. And I saw on Google, like Google Street View, the scaffolding. It appeared that scaffolding had been up for a very, very long time at this property.
Correct.
What did you guys ever, when the scaffolding first went up, what did you guys have a permit originally?
Yes.
Expired?
If you look, if you look in the file, the permit was taken out by BMS CAT. And they took out the permit and they did the firework at the building. Subsequently, BMS CAT, I don't know what happened to the company, but they dissolved. And we never heard from them again. We never heard from anyone again. And again, the only reason the scaffolding was left up was because we needed to finish painting the building, but PG&E, we were waiting for PG&E to move their electrical lines, which they never did. And that's why, yes, it was up for a while. I agree.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
didn't know we needed, you see BMS Cat took out the street permit
Mhm.
and they disappeared and we never knew we needed another one.
Okay. All right, thank you. I have some questions for the department. I guess, Jessica, do you know when the scaffolding first went up, did they have the correct permits for installing it in the first place? Or
The
at some
only-
point in,
The only permit I see on file for BMS Cat was from January 2nd, 2019 to July 2nd, 2019. There's
Okay.
been a large lapse in permits since.
and then, okay, and then at that time, okay, so when they originally set it up, they had a permit and then work went on for a very long time. Prior to issuing the notice of violation, was there any prior communication with the property owner in terms of phone calls or in-person conversations to deal
Not
with
that
it?
I'm aware of.
Okay.
There was a notice of the correction notice was issued and posted on the property and sent via US mail, since nobody was on site at the time of inspection, and same thing with the violation.
And just so is it like a correction notice comes first, and then if it's not corrected within a certain amount of time, then you start doing
Correct,
the violations, which is a monetary fine
correct.
after that? Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
so in this case, they were given 72 hours to rectify the issue. It never happened, so then we went to a violation.
But that 72 hours is really an unrealistic period of time to get a company to come out. And as I said, they didn't come out, but it's still an unrealistic period of time to dismantle scaffolding.
72 hours is what's codified for us to issue
I-
a correction. Will you let me finish speaking, please?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
72 hours is codified for us to issue a correction notice for you to obtain a permit. And permits are obtainable online, so it's more than a realistic time period.
Yes.
We did not realize that another permit, that there could be another permit obtained, and we took down the scaffolding as quickly as we could.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question for you, sir. Do you live on site?
No.
Do you have tenants that live on site still?
Do I have tenants?
Yes.
Yes, I have tenants.
Did they not see the correction notice that was posted on the gate?
That's unfair. Our tenants don't let us know anything. They don't care about notices posted by the city to the owner. The tenants don't, the only reason I find it is when I go there. I inspect the property once a week at least. So that's when I find out, or I got it in the mail. The tenants, you can't rely on a tenant to tell me there's something posted on the building. They'll leave it there for a year.
And then one more quick question. Once when you received the correction notice or the violation, had all of your work at that point been finished?
No,
No, so you still had were you able to finish all the work you needed to get done and then you took down the scaffolding, or?
no, I took down the scaffolding right away as quickly as we could. We cannot put the scaffolding back up now because we're waiting for PG&E to move their lines. And like I said, PG&E for 2 years has not done anything. And I'm dealing with that issue. But as soon as PG&E moves their lines, we are going to put the scaffold back up, obviously.
You mean like their distribution lines? They're
Yeah,
like the actual main lines that run
that's
parallel
correct.
to the sidewalk there, that's an issue for the
Right.
scaffold. Okay.
It was too close to the PG&E lines. The
But
original-
how did it go up in the first point? They just put it up?
Yeah, these guys, safety scaffolding and BMS Cat put it up. The part of the scaffolding, yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Regardless of it being out of code with PG&E. still?
Correct.
Okay,
That is correct.
okay. Okay, that's all. Thank you. I don't have any other further questions.
Thank you for your time. I have nothing else, Stan.
Okay.
So if that's it,
Yeah, you're free to go.
free to go.
Mhm.
Thank you, Mr. Keller.
Have a nice day.
You too. If I could leave the meeting, oh, there you go. I got,
Okay. Okay, can the department proceed with the,
I think we should postpone the other two since we had the technical difficulties
Oh,
this
oh.
morning.
yeah, it's up to, you're the group that has to do all the admin work ahead of time. So if that's what you'd like to do, then
Yeah, I don't think it would be right for us to proceed with the hearing
if the other
if we
people are
sent
not here.
out the notices with the incorrect hearing IDs. and Nathan.
Okay, I think given that there is no more public comment or attendees at the hearing, I'm going to close this hearing. But there were two items that were not heard because the attendees did not show up, but we believe that was due to a prior technical issue. So we did hear item, hold on. We did hear I'm going to make a decision on hearing order 205865 for 500 Filmore, but hearing orders 205863 for 711 Eddie and hearing order 205864 for 3861 19th Street. Those two items should be continued to a future hearing due to a technical issue, and that those attendees and appellant should be given a chance to attend the hearing. I guess that is all, and I will have my decisions issued within 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank you.